Hello. Well, it's time for our false Rise of the False Gods book study for tonight. And tonight, whenever you're watching. Today, the topic is the crux of the matter. That means the core point, the big issue that this whole book is about, that our lives are about, and that our mission in our purpose for being, our mission in this life is about. And so first, before we go on to today's material, I would like to go back just to touch on yesterday. I've given up on thinking I'm going to get a chapter done every time, because even though they're short chapters, they're so meaty and the stuff is so important, especially important for our days today. So yesterday we were finishing up the topic of evil. And what we didn't get to is there evil in what's happening in our all the various crises that we're facing today. For example, is there evil in the protests? Is there evil in the California fires? Is there evil in our politics? Is there evil in your life, your work, your family, your ministry, your job, whatever it is? So if we look at it from the previous position that evil was something inherently terrible and awful, it's very different than looking at it as evil as an effect of error that you have done. As far as the evil in the protests, evil, it's not the intention of the protest. Some people have definitely brought evil to them, but the original intent was not evil. It was to stand up for yourself. And very often when something that has the appearance of evil breaks out in the middle of it, it intimidates us and makes us question our own standing for truth, for justice, for what's right, for each other and ourselves. Evil in the California fires, it's an effect. This is definitely pointing to global warming, okay? It's our stuff that brought this on. And it's evil only in the case that we don't figure out what to do to stop these behaviors that is causing the ongoing issues. Is there evil in politics? There is certainly a misunderstanding of truth and justice. You cannot build a house of cards. You cannot build a government on false, on lies and untruths and unright ways of living, integrity. You can't have it without integrity, and you can't have a good life without integrity. Integrity is wholeness, and it's what we're striving for in spiritual mastery. So I just wanted to go over that. I know I said at the end of yesterday's group that it will get worse unless we do our part. The good news is we can do our part. And we will do our part, and we're not alone in doing that part. Please consider all of these things learning opportunities and say, what can I learn from this? Because that's what we're here for. I began this chapter, I'm on page 34, and this chapter or this portion begins with, hence, there shall be such a oneness among you that when one weeps, the other will taste salt. And that is an old Jewish saying. And it is so important that we come to understand our oneness. That is the crux of this matter. That is the guiding point. That's what it's all about. The fact that we are one. We may be an individual, but we are, good morning to you, we are one, no matter how you look at it. So, because we are one, we have to work together with every other person You know, I was thinking that there were on the news tonight was the devastation of the fires we're having. And then there's the ongoing devastation of coronavirus that is happening around the world. And you know, the only way that we are going to get out of this as quickly as possible is to pool our energy, our time, our thoughts, because together what we can do is so much more powerful than what we can do on our own. You know, life is not a competition. You don't have to try to be better than somebody else. And you know what? You can't. Because we're all God's kids. You can only be as good as you can be. I'm going to be reading because when I go to highlight, I highlight so much that I might as well read anyway because it's only confusing. It says on the top of page 34, we are one. We're one with God. We're one with each other. We're one with the planet. We're one with creation. And I expect we are one with the many expressions of God in our unlimited universe. Think about it. You know, we talk about, do you think there's really aliens? I mean, how arrogant can it be that we could think with all this universe out there that we're the only intelligent life? Look around, you might question that intelligent part. We are one with all of it. And as a part of one of all of it, we are co-creators of all of it. But everything in your life right now, the good part and the bad part, is the effect of the causes we've sent forth. It is the result of the thoughts and feelings and beliefs and actions we have taken, individually and collectively. I think that if it says oneness that does not strive towards its expression as oneness works against God's plan for the creation of a literal heaven on earth. You know, heaven on earth may sound idealistic to you, but I believe in it. And I believe that we can do it when we start to live not just to ourselves, but for the good of the whole. It's the same way. Everything in creation was created as a vital part of the whole, sustaining the whole. Divine ideas live in our very soul. Well, if that's the truth, why the heck aren't we expressing it? You ever wonder about that? I'm going to share an answer with you. You may find, this is the warning. This is the disclaimer. I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath right now. And I'm going to ask you to kind of try to, if you had like a seatbelt on, to buckle the seatbelt or to sit on your hands so you don't turn this off right away, because you may not like what I have to say. It may turn you off a little bit. But I'm not asking you to accept what I'm saying. I'm only asking you to listen and consider the possibility. So, I say if my comments are offensive to you, if you take them personally, if you find yourself wanting to yell at me and tear up the book, please take a deep breath and say to yourself, it's principle, it's not personal. I may be speaking to you, but I am speaking to me, and I am speaking to all of us. Please wait until after you've reached the end of the book to tear it up, okay? Just give it a chance. You may find a little aha here or there. And you understand, I wrote this in 2015, and that was a mere 5 years ago. I mean, it went through its revisions and everything. It wasn't published until last year, but the original writing, already everything has changed so much. It's not invalidated, but it certainly has played out further than it is in the book. It says, our world today is in a state of crisis brought on by the worship of false gods. We teeter-totter on the verge of oblivion as nuclear threats, global warming, and pollution threaten the planet. Mother Earth blesses us with food, clothing, shelter, the air we breathe, yet she struggles more each day to provide these things as she is depleted by our self-centered appetites. I know it's challenging. Deep breath. We're either going to be a part of the problem or a part of the solution. How amazingly powerful it is to know we can be a part of the solution. Then, of course, we have the matters of gun violence or violence in any form. Do you know, I'm sure you're aware of it. Words are painful. Words can hurt. Words can actually kill. More than once, I've read stories about kids who were bullied, and they were so distressed and so disheartened, they took their own lives because they couldn't imagine going on. Why? Because of words. Words can hurt, and words can heal. And when you establish your spiritual mastery, you will be a healer with your words. We still have divorce, bullying, crime. I could go on and on, but we all want to get done with this tonight, right? It's easy to point the finger of blame to say it's them, or it's God, or it's they did it. Who are they anyway? I mean, who are they? Is it you? Is it me? Is it someone else? We're all one, so it's us, okay? Deep breath, gotta take that one in. Okay. We could blame it on big business, right? Multinational corporations, globalization, or the government. But blame will do nothing. Blame will do nothing. One thing that will help is enlightenment. It's the attainment. Enlightenment is the attainment of wisdom through knowledge and understanding. It is the light that emanates it is the light that eliminates the shadows of all that is not true. Enlightenment comes through knowledge and application of spiritual principle in our lives. Illumination, understanding. Now, what do I mean by that illumination? I guarantee you have had those illuminating moments in your life. There goes a, aha, I get it. I understand. A very funny example of the difference between what's in the dark and what's in the light was one night, my parents were in bed, and my mother woke up and looked up, and she saw a burglar in the room. And she poked my father and she said, Henry, there's someone in the room. There's a burglar in the room. And of course they were terrified. Well, my father leaned over and turned on the light. And do you know who that burglar was? It was my mother's clothes drying rack with a lampshade she'd put on top of it. She just happened to be walking by and picked up the lampshade and put it on the clothes drying rack and didn't think about it and went to bed. She left it on the other side of the room. But when she woke up in the middle of the night, when it was dark and she could only see shadows, that dark was not an evil burglar. It was just a clothing rack with a lampshade on it in the darkness. How many of the things that we have been so concerned about are nothing but shadows. And when we shine the light on them, they're not even real. Today is September 11th, 2020. Somebody posted this morning on Facebook, says today is the anniversary. We all know the day. What will you be thinking about today? And what came to me as an answer, it was the first thing I thought of. I remember how horrible 9/11 was. I remember what I was doing. You may remember what you were doing. But what I remember most is in the days that followed, when people came together across our country, regardless of race, lifestyle, gender, age, religion, or the color of their skin. We came together, we prayed, we declared our oneness. And it wasn't just that. We received the blessings and prayers from people all over the world. What a blessing. We were practicing that oneness. I don't want to go through anything like that again, but it seems inevitable where we're headed if we don't learn to continue to live that life where we take care of each other, because we're all one. Think about your physical body. Every part of it must work together, and every part of us must work together. Our crisis today, watching the red skies of the fires that are burning in California, the whole West Coast, it is traumatic. And when we think about the lives that are lost, the animals that are lost, the creatures, the belongings, the dreams that are lost. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. We are all one. That's the crux of the matter. We're all one. We just have to start living that way. In the coming days, people are going to need help reestablishing their lives. If your life was not touched by this personally, if the fires do not come near you, the storms do not come near you, you have a job, you have your health, you have your family, I am asking you to find a way to be the oneness that we are in truth, to reach out to those who need help. Whatever, now be careful when you reach out to give help, because there will be those people out there who will find this as an opportunity to take people's money for their own use. Find reliable sources. If you have friends or family members or friends who have lost something, who have lost their home, who have lost their loved ones, who have lost their belongings, anything like that, their job, you know, everyone will say, oh my God, the unemployment rate is almost 20%. That, my friends, is what half full glass thinking is. Half empty thinking is, I have a job. I have my life. I have my health. I didn't go through that fire. I didn't go through that loss. I'm going to pour some good into that cup until it overflows. We can do that. Don't be so afraid that you pinch every penny till it bleeds, you know? Yes, take care of your money. Don't waste your money. Don't, you know, but for heaven's sakes, when we can help each other in any way. You know, some folks say, that's terrible. I'm going to pray about it. Well, like my metaphysics teacher used to say, well, nothing could be more true and less helpful. Yes, we pray. And we move our feet. Because we know when our time of need comes, we too will need help. And we never know when that moment is going to come, then we will need each other. Our biggest mistake is thinking that we don't need each other. Whether it's each other in our town, in our country, or each other on the planet. Together we thrive. That is the crux of the matter. Get back to the book. Okay. With each crisis in our lives, we will find both danger and opportunity. If we see only danger, we will fight, flee, or freeze, which solves nothing. Fighting, fleeing, freezing helps and solves nothing. We must seek instead the opportunity to bring light and understanding to the situation. Look at it. Look at the cause that went forth that caused it. Look at the effect that it is. I read in the news, and I have to confess I didn't read the whole article, but apparently one of the wildfires was started through someone's supposedly brilliant and exciting, what do they call that? Gender unveiling parties where people get together and have a party and they have this great unveiling of whether their child is going to be a boy or a girl, which I think is hilarious because it's not very often, but sometimes they're wrong. But this gender reveal party wound up with some kind of a poof explosion, and it was blue, so it was a boy, and it started a fire that burned over 8,000 acres, I think. Gosh, those people they just have to be having such pain. They might have lost their own house, I don't know, but the intention was okay, but the danger was not looked at, not thinking of what could be a negative effect of this type of thing. We need to think of that before we set off any explosions. Just saying. The crises we're facing are real. It's embedded in our personal mind and the collective, the combined consciousness of all the people. We must not drag our feet on this. We must realize we are one and learn how to behave as one, because that way we cannot help but thrive. You know, a lot of people are saying that Jesus is coming back. Okay, this is another chance. Tighten your seatbelt, sit on your hands. You may want to throw something at me. A lot of people are saying Jesus is coming back. Well, I question that because Jesus is with us always, okay? You know, because it is the consciousness, the teaching, and we cannot constantly run around like toddlers looking for someone to rescue us. We like to think we're so grown up. We like to think we're so smart. We like to think we're so powerful. Well, if we're so doggone powerful, then it's about time we sit down and figure out how to get things done, how to work together, how to stop war, how to stop the coronavirus. We got people working on a vaccine here and people working on one there and people working on that. What if we shared all our doggone wisdom and did something more powerful? Life is not a competition. What are they looking for? Maybe money. If I'm the first one that comes up with that, if our country's the first one that comes up with that, if our team's the first one that comes up with that, we're going to have money, we're going to have power, we're going to have notoriety. That's not worth a darn thing if you put all this stuff into it and you don't come up with the cure, okay? Pool our resources. It's so powerful. I don't know why we're not doing it. Now, when I say Jesus isn't coming back, I mean, you know, why would he? Why would he? He taught us how to live. He taught us how to be peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers. You know, I think kind of sad about blessed are the meek because they shall inherit the earth. Well, what in heaven's name is going to be left of it? Maybe that's something that we should think about. Maybe Jesus didn't mean it that way. Jesus gave us everything we need to help ourselves. Imagine if Jesus came and just swooped us all out of this mess. If we had not healed our consciousness, we would do nothing more than go someplace else and create the same thing. Did you ever watch those makeover shows on TV? You know, they take a plain woman, probably like me, aside from the purple hair, that's about as wild as it gets. But they take someone who's very plain, who doesn't dress the best, which all fits me. So you could take me and you could put me on one of those, what did they used to call those, makeover ambush? So if I was walking down the street and somebody, took a makeover ambush on me, and they gave me beautiful clothes, and they changed my hair, and they changed my makeup, and gave me fancy nails, and all that stuff. How would I look in a week? Probably just like this. You know what? Just like this is okay by me. I like me. Oh, I can clean up and dress up and stuff like that. And I'll probably never be a model. But the makeup, when the makeover is only on the outside, you've done nothing. We have to have the makeover happen within our heart and our soul. So the current state of mind we have, where we think we can control, where we think we can put ourselves above others, where we think we can only have it our way without concern about what we're doing. I'm winding up my time for today, but I would like, as I leave this off today, you with a challenge. I would like you to look at what's in your refrigerator. I would like you to look at what's in your trash. I would like to invite you to look at the waste you make, and to see how friendly are you to Mother Earth. So that's just one little thing, because as a part of this living, breathing planet, we want to keep it living and breathing. It provides so much to us. Of course, we can provide to it. The same thing is true of the members of your family. The same thing is true of your coworkers. The same thing is true of the government of your community. Because see, everyone wants to talk about the big jobs like president, vice president, and stuff like that. What if we looked at our local selectmen, our local mayors and governors, and got to know them and got to know how that part of our life worked? What if we looked more? John Kennedy said it. Don't ask what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Don't ask what your husband or wife can do for you. Ask what you can do for them. Now, when I say that, I don't mean lay down and be a doormat and be taken care of all the time. No, what I meant is we have mutual respect and mutual accountability, and to work together to create that happiness. You know what? Relationships are not about rainbows and romance. It's about being able to work together during the rough times. And that's true in every aspect of our lives. Today, the perception of power is measured in weaponry and money and leadership power, but they are not the measure of who we are. We have become arrogant while we claim to be patriotic. False pride we tout, all the hoo-ha. It's a lie, because in truth, as independent as we may like to call ourselves, we are interdependent. We must depend on each other. Separation is death. Oneness and community is life. War will never bring peace. Violence breeds violence. We are currently experiencing great loss in our country, in the United States. I know in Brazil, they're having horrible fires that may actually be irreparable. And those, we call them the lungs of planet Earth, because the rainforests are just about being killed out. Some of it by humans who want to raise cattle on the land, so they take down the rainforest. We've got the brains to figure this out, okay? But we also need the brawn. Pray. And then move your feet, okay? We are one. We are meant to be one. For those of you in the United States, I want to underscore the importance of knowing that we may be asking for the help of other countries. Our country has got the highest death rate and infection rate from the COVID virus anywhere on the planet. We're talking per capita, okay? Not based on our size as a country, but on the number of people we have to the number of people who are being affected. Ours is highest. Why? We choose to be arrogant and not cooperative. Sorry, it's a fact. Let's pray together knowing that we are one. And when we get to know our oneness, we will not only survive, we will thrive. We can do that. And we're going to continue this tomorrow night, because clearly I didn't get through the chapter. Thank you for being with me. God bless you. I hope you have a little bit of food for thought and a wonderful day. And I'm not going to see you till Monday, because today's Friday and I got my weekend too. God bless you. Bye-bye.